Hello, aspirants. Welcome to Unacademy. This lecture is gonna be about something which was seen in news recently, known as Operation Gearbox. All those students who have been regularly and religiously following the newspapers, you must have come across this term in newspaper. Somewhere in some corner of the country, something was going on which was named as Operation Green Box. And such type of things become important from prelims perspective. At times we can see direct questions from current affairs as it is. For example, in this case we can expect a question like this: Operation Gearbox was seen in news recently is related to. So we're gonna talk about what this Operation Gearbox was, what are its implications, and everything and anything related to it. We will be discussing in this lecture. This entire lecture and this entire article is related to problem of drug abuse and related initiatives. So this can be asked as a part of GS2 also, as a part of GS3 also, because when drugs and uh, contraband substances come in play, so it can be related to internal security of the country also, and other governance related issues also, this can be included. So from paper 2 or paper three's perspective, this article is important. It is related to problem of drug abuse. Sir, drug abuse is something from which questions can be seen in previous years. It can be in the form of mains answer, right? Mains questions. It can be in the form of essay also. So this drug abuse, because this has been the most recent problem which this country has been struggling with. So these type of articles become really important. We'll try to cover in depth the entire issue so that tomorrow when we go and appear in the examination from for mains, any question that is asked which is related to drug abuse, use of drugs, contraband substances, or anything related to it, we are able to answer it well. Sir, if you aspire to become civil servant, if you want to serve this nation as IAS IPS officer, start your preparation today with India's largest learning platform, that is Unacademy. Why Unacademy, sir? Unacademy offers you widest choice of educators, flexibility to change courses, live mentorship, answer writing practice, unlimited lectures, and all these things together result into tremendous achievements. Year on year, Unacademy has given the toppers. You can see on your screens the top rankers have been associated with Unacademy as they continue their preparation process. Sir, Unacademy brings to you India's best educators when it comes to civil services preparation. My name is Shubham Sardhalia. I am your educator and mentor, and I'll be taking up various subjects with you. Sir, Unacademy will help you prepare for this examination, will help you clear this examination in the most holistic possible way. You just have to enroll with our courses. Unacademy offers you plus and iconic subscriptions. Any subscription you can opt for. You can opt for plus subscription, you can opt for iconic subscription, and any subscription you opt for, use this code IAS Icons. This becomes really important. Sir, Unacademy for limited period offer is offering you 20% discount on UPSC CSE subscriptions. Sir, it's a limited period offer. Normally you get 10% discount, but for few days Unacademy is offering you 20% discount. You have to use this code IAS Icons. Don't forget to use this course and enroll with us. Sir, you can opt for combo subscriptions, you can get optional subscriptions, and everywhere the code is gonna be the same, IAS Icons. For all those students who are unable to pay the entire amount at once, Unacademy gives you 0% EMI today. Like, you can pay the entire amount in small monthly installments. You can take benefit of iconic subscription where you'll get live mentorship, daily answer writing practice, access to MCQs, articles, chat based doubt solving, study booster sessions, physical notes, live doubt solving. In short, I can say that anything and everything that is required to qualify this UPSC examination, we will be providing you on Unacademy. Let's start with the article. Sir, what happened recently? Directorate of Revenue Intelligence, a central body that aims to look for contraband substances, that aims to look for matters where such type of issues involved, they launched an operation known as Gearbox. It was to stop the smuggling of heroin, and under this operation 39.5 kg of contraband was seized from Kolkata port. Heroin, that's a contraband substance, that is a narcotic substance whose consumption, trade, and transportation is totally banned. It was seized. So anything when it is its usage, its transportation is banned. So what people try to do, they try to hide it, they try to conceal it, and then they transport it from one place to another. So whenever you are transporting something that is not allowed and you are following certain hidden methods to carry out it, it is known as what? Smuggling. So what was happening here was the drug smuggling or heroin smuggling was taking place, and in order to curb it, in order to bring it to halt, to stop it, Directorate of Revenue Intelligence had launched an operation called Gearbox, and under that operation only 39.5 kg of this heroin was seized at Kolkata port. The question comes here is why it is called Operation Green Box, or what is Operation Green Box? That's from where we started our discussion. Sir, actually what was happening was, from Kolkata port, or in that case from any other port of the country, goods are being transported from one place to another. Just like any other good, the scrap was being transported through the ports, and that scrap was related to automobile. These were automobile parts which were used. So what was happening? You must be aware that every automobile, every vehicle has a gearbox. That gear lever, that gear lever is fixed on a certain object which is known as gearbox. So what was happening? The used gearbox of certain vehicles which were no longer in use, which couldn't be used anymore because they were outdated, they were obsolete. They were being transported as a scrap. They were simply showing that, see, this is the scrap, we are selling it or we are sending it to some another place. And in those used gearboxes, what they used to do, they gearboxes like this, it's an entire machine, it is an entire equipment which was opened apart, and inside that heroin packets were added. Heroin packets were added into it, then they were closed. So it was shown that the normal gearbox which is no longer in use, and it is being transported as scrap. But somewhere, somehow, the authorities, the Directorate of Revenue Intelligence, they got to know that this type of activity is taking place where these gearboxes are being used to smuggle contraband substances. So that's why the name comes Operation Green Box. So Operation Green Box was conducted to detect hidden drugs in gearboxes. So where it took place? It took place at Kolkata port. Drug syndicate, or the entire cartel that was dealing in this drug trade, what they used, what they were doing, they were using this modus operandi, they were using this technique to conceal heroin, because that was the only purpose. That was heroin was something, or any other narcotic substance was something that was not allowed to be transported freely. So it was to be concealed, it was to be hidden. So they were using this method, and they were actually smuggling it from one place to another. And the technique, or the method that they were using, was making use of used gearboxes. That's why it was named as Operation Gearbox. The gears from old and used gearboxes were removed. If we talk about gearboxes, a machine like this, you have a gear knob over here. So what was happening? They used to remove this gear knob, open it, put narcotic substance here, then close it and put that gear knob again, just to give that normal image that it's something very normal, something very simple. The contraband substance was packed into plastic packets and was placed in the cavity that was created inside. And after that, gearboxes were refitted to avoid detection. So they were opened up, things were inserted into it, and then they were closed to look as normal as they were earlier. These packets were shipped, concealing inside this metal scrap and other metal scrap, though, so that it go unnoticed. So when metal scrap is being transported from one place to another, it's not that they will have only 10, 20 or 100 gearboxes. It's in thousands of kgs. So in such of bulk, in tons, the scrap was transported, and in that huge scrap, these gearboxes could easily go unnoticed. But somehow, due to their intelligence services, the authorities came to know about it, and ultimately they busted this racket. So, sir, this takes us to an important issue. It's that one such modus operandi got exposed, that yeah, drugs are being transported like this. But sir, over the period, we have been seeing certain other ways with the help of which drugs are being smuggled either in or out of the country. You must have seen those videos where drugs were hidden in invitation cards. Drugs are hidden in certain cycle parts. So in this way, the smugglers, the organized crime, this entire racket is running as an organized crime, and they have been following certain reasons. So this takes us to an important problem, that is drug menace or drug addiction in India. So this is something which India is actually struggling with. The menace of drug addiction has spread fast among the youth of India, undoubtedly, sir, especially in those states which are bordering with the that hold the international border. They are bordering the another countries nearby. They have the highest exposure to drugs, because drugs are being pushed into for the consumption of these people, just in order to create instability inside India. So this is actually becoming a problem, and youth of India is actually falling addicted to it. According to Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, India has more than 70 million drug addicts. Can you believe how big this number is? So 70 million people are addicted to these drugs. So what happens is whenever somebody becomes addicted to drugs, it leads to serious health problems. Undoubtedly, eventually this is destroying, this is damaging the entire body structure. They are damaging your internal organs. So they are creating health problems. The person who is involved into it, his entire life is spoiled, and not only his life, his entire family's survival, his entire family's life is put at stake. So ultimately, from an individual, it is impacting his family, from family it is impacting the society, and from society it is actually impacting the entire country. So sir, this becomes a major threat for the country. This major becomes a major threat to internal security of India. That's why it becomes important from internal security perspective also. It promotes antisocial behavior such as stealing, crime, and violence. All those who become drug addicts, see, drug is something that is sold at very high price because it is banned, and that's the reason it is being smuggled like this, because everybody or anybody who is involved into this type of illegitimate trade, they are doing it just because they know that it's not easily available. So if we are able to smuggle it, if we are able to sell it, we're gonna be making huge profits. So all those who are involved into this drug trade or who are actually consuming these drugs, they require a lot of money for this. And ultimately, in order to gather that money, they indulge into activities like stealing, crime, violence, or at times they become part of certain anti-national activities also, where they are lured for money that will be paying you this much of amount, you carry out this activity against your nation. So that's why the entire security of this nation, of the individual, of the households, everything is at stake when it comes to problem of drug addiction. Now, what is the reason why India is consistently facing this problem over the years? Sir, problem is, you must have heard of these two largest opium producing regions in the world. Opium is processed and converted into heroin. So heroin is the finished product that is produced out of the opium. So opium is being grown on both the ends or both the borders of the nation. On eastern side, we have something known as Golden Triangle, and on western side, we have something known as Golden Crescent. I assume that majority of you know what this Golden Crescent or Golden Triangle is. If you know, if you're not knowing, or if you have no idea about it, let me tell you. Sir, it may sound very fascinating. If somebody asks you what is this Golden Crescent and Golden Triangle, you may be thinking of something really good because term golden is involved. Sir, Golden Crescent and Golden Triangle are the world's largest opium producing areas. And unfortunately, these both areas lie very near, very adjacent to India. Laos, Vietnam, Thailand, Myanmar. These countries form Golden Triangle, and Iran, Pakistan, Afghanistan, they form something known as Golden Crescent. Sir, Golden Crescent and Golden Triangle, if you go on the western front of India's borders, you will find Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and the area known as Golden Crescent. And if you go on the eastern side, you will find nations like Vietnam, Thailand, Myanmar, and you will find Golden Triangle. So from these both places, opium is grown and is being pushed into India's borders. So this opium is taken to another countries, it is processed as heroin, and then it is pushed into the country. So Golden Triangle represents the Myanmar, Laos, Thailand, the rural mountains of the eastern side, the Southeast Asia's main opium producing region and one of the oldest narcotic supplier to Europe and North America. Sir, you see this earth is round, so whatsoever is happening here is definitely gonna impact nearby areas, and because the earth is round, somewhere here you will find North America, South America. So drugs from here are being taken to North America, South America also. They are pushed into Asia also. They are pushed into India also. So this Golden Triangle has been a cause of concern for the entire world. Before Afghan drug produce flooded international markets in 1990s, the Golden Triangle was the largest producer of heroin in the world. So first one to come up was the Golden Triangle, but in 1990s, the Afghan drug produce started, and where it is? It is situated at a junction of three nations, which is known as Golden Crescent. On northwestern side of India, it is Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Iran. Today, when we see, sir, this is one area, this is another area, Golden Crescent. And sir, demographically, geographically, sorry, if you see, India is sandwiched between these two nations. So what is happening on both the fronts? When drug trade is going on, it is impacting our nation, it is impacting the youth of this country, and ultimately creating problem for our nation. Trafficking of illicit drugs is the global problem, and places such as Golden Triangle and Golden Crescent are its hotspot. Sir, whenever we have questions like this, we have to start with that. What are the causes of this drug problem? What are the impacts? Like if somebody is involved into a consumption of drugs, how will it impact his health, his family, society, and nation? How can we stop this? What are the reasons that India is consistently facing this problem? So, the reason is that India is located at such places that drug money is used to finance criminal activities and even terrorism. Sir, organized crime is something known as a thing that has been taking, that is the root cause of this drug problem. So entire syndicate, entire cartel is operating in drugs. They are carrying out an organized crime, and this organized crime is linked to terrorism. So the money that is being obtained from this organized crime, this sale of drugs, is used to finance criminal activities and even terrorism. So sir, drug trade, criminal activities, terrorist activities, all together, these things, what they'll do, sir, they will ultimately create instability in the nation, and that's what the enemies of the country would always want. So now next question is, what are the constitutional provisions? Like, these are the problems, we could understand the problem, we are able to understand the reasons for the problem. Sir, what are the solutions to it? Sir, the easiest possible or the most closest solution is international cooperation. All these states along with the nearby areas, for example, if India closely works with the governments of nearby nations, which where these drug producing areas are where these drugs are being produced, so an international cooperation is required between the nations so as to this problem can be curbed. Apart from it, sir, there are certain constitutional provisions. For example, Article 47, Directive Principles of the State Policy of Indian Constitution, it directs the state to improve public health. It says that the state should endeavor to improve public health and to bring the prohibition of and consumption of intoxicating drugs and drinks which are injurious to health. So it automatically gets the constitutional mandate as per Article 47, 14(7) under Directive Principles of State Policy. So our constitution, or the constitution makers, they directed the state case, sir, you should take certain steps so that problems like this are taken care of. Apart from it, there are certain legal provisions. For example, when it comes to narcotics, there is an act that is put into place. It is known as NDPS Act. You must have heard of it, Narcotics, Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act 1985. So this act regulates certain operations such as manufacture, transport and consumption related to narcotic, drugs and psychotropic substances. So any substance that is psychotropic in nature, that comes under narcotics, that comes under contraband substances, it is not manufactured, it is not transported, or it is not consumed. This becomes the mandate of this NDPS Act, and in order to ensure that these type of activities are not taking place, under this NDPS Act, a body was constituted which is known as Narcotics Control Bureau. So Narcotic Control Bureau is an organization, is a central body that ensures that no such type of activity is taking place. So Narcotic Control Bureau is vested with power to charge individuals in cases related to illegal use and supply of narcotics. So these are the provisions. What are the reasons? What are the problems associated? What is the legal framework? What is the constitutional framework that can be used in order to get over this problem of drugs? We were discussing about it. I hope we are clear till here. So sir, when it comes to UPSC CSE preparation, Unacademy offers you iconic subscription. Unacademy is offering you, sir, mains test series. So what is happening here is, tomorrow when you go and appear in the examination, there will be thousands of competitors. You will have to compete with them. It's like it's a race against your competitors. So test yourself, practice this test series with Unacademy. Unacademy will be offering you best of the classes with best of the faculty. Enroll today and start your preparation. Thank you very much. All the best. Keep working hard. Bye bye. Take care. Jai Hind.